At this moment, we are at 140 Robux, and my goal for this video is to get to 600 Robux. Hello everyone, I am Robuxian, and today we will be playing donation games and seeing how much Robux we can make off of them. If you don't know who I am Robuxian, and my whole goal of this channel is to try a bunch of different methods to make Robux, and hopefully have you guys learn how with me. But without further ado, let's start the donation games. I first loaded into Please Donate, and I walked up to my stand. Since I tried to make some Roblox games in the past, I already had some game passes that people could buy. I had to ask ChatGPT for some good ideas to put on my sign because honestly, I wasn't even sure what to write. I wrote on it that I was a YouTuber, hoping to get me some Robux from it and spark some interest, but no one seemed to care. I then made the sign say that I needed Robux so I could start making UGC items, which was true. I did need it, and it also did spark some interest. A man walked up and asked if I had any 40 Robux game passes, and I said no. I did have one that was more expensive though, and so I went into Roblox Studio and I changed the price to 40 so he could buy it. And that was how I got my first donation. Also, whenever someone would come up to me and ask for a donation, I would have to say no. In the future, I can be more lenient with donating to people and stuff like that when I have more Robux. However, I am just starting out the series, and so I can't be giving away Robux right now. Most people were kind and respectful, so I really appreciated that. I tried to make my sign say I was a YouTuber and give the channel name, but it censored YouTubers, so I didn't really know what to do. Eventually, I was able to write a pretty good message on my sign, and then for the night, I went AFK. I woke up the next day to see how much I had made, and I made 0 Robux over the night. Over the next day, I was pretty busy, and so I didn't have too much time to go playing Please Donate. But that night, I did actually go AFK again, and when I woke up, I came back and I made 19 Robux. 58 Robux, however, was not as much as I needed, and so I had to start switching it up a bit and playing another donation game called Starving Artists. The premise of the game is basically buying art from others and selling it, which was my strategy. I did have a few pieces of cool art, but I wanted to make some of my own, and so I went to making these goofy little faces. I gave them both names and titled them both Common in hopes that people would think it's cool and start buying them. I had this one picture of a deer that looked really nice, and so some girl came up and started complimenting it and asked if I could like her art, and so I went over and I did that, and she was really kind, and she said she would lower the price down to 5 Robux just for me, so if I could buy one of her art, and it was pretty cheap, and it looked pretty good, so I bought it. I then walked up to this one other person, and he was selling his art for only 3 Robux. It was insane, and it was super high quality. With those 2 pieces of art acquired, I went with my 2 faces and my deer photo, and I went AFK overnight. The next morning, I found out that my deer photo had sold for 39 Robux. None of my 2 faces had sold though, so I decided that instead of having cool art that I made myself, it was better to buy and resell, since no one really wanted those faces, so I took them off the market and just put up the photos that looked the best. I also ended up finding this tropical island sunset photo I thought was really cool, and then the next night I went AFK, and 2 out of the 3 photos had sold for 39 Robux, both, which was a lot more than I bought them for, so it was a good strategy. Purely off of donations, I had made 175 Robux. However, we still have to factor in the amount I spent and the 30% tax Roblox puts on all donations. I looked, and it said my pending Robux was 72. I'm not sure how that's 70% of 175, but whatever. This now raises me from 132 Robux to 204 Robux. Even though I didn't get to 600 Robux, which I'll admit was reaching a bit high, it was still a pretty good Robux day, and I think I got a decent amount. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something from this, and I hope you could consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it, and it would help out the channel a lot, since I don't have that many right now.